Damn.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we will show you guys a simple modification that we did to our Brocock Commander HP Magnum air rifle. This will help solve some of the quality issue and will help improve your air rifle. So as you seen in our previous video, we mentioned to you guys about the quality issue with regards to our air rifle, and that issue was the butt stock. So what we did was we addressed that issue with how it would rattle very easily because of the machining from factory and how the buttstock was made. So the problem was the machining tolerance and the design wasn't very accurate. So we did a simple modification to address that issue, and now my husband will show you guys the process. So stay tuned, make sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification so you guys don't miss anything.
Alright, so first things first, we're going to address the issue with the folding joint. I'm not sure what the proper term would be, but basically there's a space that you need to eliminate because these 2 points right here, the tolerance is too much, and you're just going to use a material to eliminate that so that now it doesn't shift. Okay, they will be basically, when they joined, they will be basically in unison with one another and sort of eliminating that shift when there is a space. Okay, so this area right here, alright, this is the part you can either use a piece of cardboard, we don't have one, piece of cardboard, and cut it to length, or to cut it to shape rather, and super glue it in place. Alright, so for us we use a piece of cardboard. You could use a piece of piping tape or anything that you could use to eliminate depending on the gap. Okay, the thickness is what you want. You don't want it super tight that when you close it, it no longer hinges properly. So you just want to make sure you get that tolerance right so you don't struggle with trying to break your rifle, your folding stock, or causing it not to latch back in place. Alright, so that's one modification. Okay, and all we did was use one thin cardboard. Well, it wasn't very thin, maybe it's about 15 mil thick. Alright, and that's basically it for that. So now what happens is, if there was a space, you see this, that's what was happening to our gun. Alright, and if it's the same manufacturer or the design and it wasn't addressed, you know, with the issue, I mentioned this to an email to Brocock, you know, with how the rifle came. In the first video you'll see it. I mean, you can shake the gun and it'll rattle, but basically this is what was happening. To eliminate that, you need to put a spacer, and now it won't move. Okay, So that's one part. And the other thing is, this piece was shifting so much as well that to address that issue, we used a piping tape. This like plumbing department or electrical department, they should have this at your hardware store. This one is a 10 mil thick, okay, piping tape, and it's great. It doesn't leave any sort of residue, and it sticks very well, and it can be removed, but it also protects your rifle from oxidation or whatever, you know, down the road. But anyway, that's what electricians use to tape their conduit to protect it for whatever reason. All right, so in order to use this tape, and all you're using is only a tape about this size, and you know, on both ends, and we'll show you that right now. And basically, so let's remove this, get it out of the way, put it on the ground. All right, so now that tolerance, like you see here, I mean, it's a tight fit. It's not rattling, it's not moving anymore. So that was one part that was rattling, was 2 points, and it was awful. Like you'd shake it and it would rattle. And then when you're benching it, I mean, it would shift on you, and it was pretty annoying. So it affects performance as well. When you're having to mess around with a high accuracy rifle, every little bit counts. So now what we want to do is we want to make sure that we protect the barrel. And you see, I just removed the scope some. Okay, this is a pivot pin and a lock pin at the same time. It serves its purpose to keep this pivoting and to keep it in place. Okay, so what you want to do is basically take a punch tool, and I'm just using the Allen key, all right, and I punch it right through. Okay, and now I should be able to remove it just by simply wobbling it out of place. Now what happens is, if the wife here will show you folks a close-up of what you folks should be seeing anyway. So now this should be free to come off. All you need to do is lift this. All right, don't be scared, because it's gonna be a little pop because of that spring. So there's this similar pin like this that stays in place. Okay, it's shorter one than this, and all it does is when you push this in, it's pivoting. So when you push this in right here, it'll basically lift this and lifts a pin that's on these little holes. Okay, and that's where you get your spaces. Okay, so now you still won't be, now you're like, okay, how do I take it out now? Well, the little trick now you'll have to do is take some sort of tool, like a hook tool, or even something to pry this up. Okay, so what you'd have to do is pry this up all the way out, so that it removes that pin all the way out. It's spring, you won't have to take it all the way out. So I'll show you folks here, all right, and see if I can do it with. Okay, so all I'm doing is lifting it all the way out and then pushing it with my other hand, and now you got it out. All right, so this piece right here, this one, I'm not sure the width. I believe this is about I would say 2 inch. Okay, so with a 2-inch wide pipe tape, what we did was take it all the way to length, all the way out here, and leave a little gap. Okay, and so we taped it all the way up to this point. This right here, you want to make sure you level it to the area, because if you do it right here only, on the round surface only, and tape it like that, you'll still have that tolerance right here, because it's not thick enough. So now it'll still wobble. Okay, so what you want to do is you're going to try and eliminate that whole thing by just placing this edge of your tape, okay, and being very careful to kind of keep it straight. You're gonna just slowly roll it with your finger to eliminate any air pocket, okay? And that's key, because if there's air pocket, well, it's not gonna slide as smooth, okay? And that's basically it. And then you're going to need a sort of a blade after, and kind of slowly, you don't want to damage your finish, because then that exposes it to weather and now it can potentially rust or whatever. But anyway, you just want to do a quick slice and remove the excess. Okay, and that's basically it. Well, now obviously it's not going to go all the way to the other end, so you'll have to do a similar thing to the other end, so that when you do it like this, okay, same process, okay, you take your finger, you edge it so that now it's lined up, and now you want to, you know, do your little thing to get it nice and flat, so that there's no and work it towards, you know, the outer end. That way you don't have again, air pocket. And then what will happen is it will overlap, okay, right here. So that overlap, and we put a little bit of silicone to help it some, okay, so to help it slide out some, because there is a little bit of now it's a little bit snug. It won't move as freely, and that's what you want. Okay, so now that's the simple part. Putting it back is a little bit more difficult and technical, and you'll have to play around with it. Okay, but we'll show you that in a little bit. All right, so now remember your pins. All right, and what you'll have to do now is place it back into place, and we turn it this way. We turn the rifle this way, and a towel helps, a pillow or whatever the case, it helps. So now this is going to be the trick, okay, that's going to get you into place. You obviously will have a harder time putting it back, because now you've got to play around with it, and hopefully you folks can bear with me here. Okay, see, it's spring loaded, so it'll be in place. But what you'll end up doing is trying to slide that pin in these little canal or channel. All right, and what you'd have to do is basically take this device right here, okay, and hopefully the wife can show a close up here. Get a little closer. Oops. So this, like I said, this is gonna take some time, and what you'll end up doing is taking that little hook to hook it up, and now you want to slide this piece back. There's gonna be some trick to it, but basically what you'll have to do, is try to get it in there. But what you want is, you want to make sure it's on here first, because once you put this back, there's no way you'll be able to clear this section right here. There's no way you'll be able to clear this with this in place. So you want to make sure you get it past that first part first. You know, get it in there. And now you want to try and get it to that little, okay, bear with me here. Okay, so this is the part where there's a little bit of trick, and you can see what I did here is, now I can easily put this back into place. See that? Okay, so let me show you real quick where you need it to go. So you're just lining this guy up right here, right in this top surface, in its highest point. Because once you get it here, you'll have a difficult time putting it back, okay? So the trick and easiest thing that I found was, you know, I had to do this twice to get it there. A little hook is better. Grab it, okay, put it into place. A little hook, and now, okay, and now that part is where we want to get it. Put this thing back, and when we got it into place, we just want to slide it, and there you go. You'll bring it down. Now all you'd have to do is take your pin and push it back, and any which way. It can go either way, it doesn't matter. All right, and you're done. Now put a little bit of silicone if you want. It's not necessary if you want it snug, but for us it helped some. But you see how snug it is now. It isn't as tight. It's still pretty good. See, and it's now not wobbling or moving. Okay, so hopefully this will help you folks sort your issues out with your Brocock Commander, if you folks have that same problem with regards to your Brocock Commander rifle, or this buttstock in particular. You know, Brocock should have done their research a little bit, and you know, push these manufacturers to get their tolerance levels better, or minimize them. Because man, I'm telling you, this was a problem, especially when you're on a bench and it's like moving on you. It's like, you know, it's frustrating. So that's one problem we addressed. Now we still have to put it through its paces, hang tight for the rest of the video series. We are now going to focus on the Brocock Commander, now that like we mentioned, the Oregon is complete pretty much. Alright, so we'll be focusing on completing 2 more videos. Alright, so happy holidays. It's Thanksgiving today, so we thought we'd do a quick video for you folks, and see you folks on the next one.
People on YouTube, you call me a homo, but you think I step by this? Well, that shit is a no-go. You're all coming one, because